well this really sucks. My print actually failed here. The layers shifted. I actually had to pause the print. Originally I was gonna print this with no infill. I was looking at the model and I thought, you know what? I think I can get away with no infill on this particular print. And unfortunately, it didn't work. There were some internal pieces or internal areas that I just didn't see when I was running back through Simplify 3D that were basically trying to adhere to nothing in space. And it connected back up here, but what was happening was my printer, the print head, kept catching it and it was pulling it up and causing it to just rub up against the print head there, or the nozzle there, while it was printing. And so I paused the print to try and correct this, tried to push it down, glue it down, and when I resumed, everything shifted. All right, back up and running with 10% infill, and so far it's looking really good. Well, this really sucks. So just woke up to check out the print, see how everything was progressing, and I have a whole bunch of spaghetti, or what looks like kale to me here. Unfortunately, the print was shifting again. So here, it printed everything pretty well right up until the top of the foot here, and then it shifted once, and then it looks like it shifted again, and that's when everything got all out of alignment, and basically completely just screwed up during the printing process. So I'm gonna get this cleaned up, but this is the beauty of 3D printing. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. A little bit of trial and error. Success, finally. Well, somewhat success. It looks like I had an issue with Hulk's hand not being properly supported or getting knocked loose during the print in the middle of the night here. I'm gonna see, once I get all the supports removed, if I can glue that back on. Hopefully that'll work okay. It might be a little nubby there. But so far it looks pretty good. I'm gonna get this off of the bed here and get all the supports removed and take a look at it. All right, so here's my low poly Hulk by Tom Davis. You can get this file over on my Mini Factory. It's actually a really nice file. It's beautifully done. He has a regular version and a low poly version. I'm obsessed at the moment with these low poly files, so this fits perfectly in everything that I'm printing at the moment. The PLA that I used was from Breathe 3DP, and they sent a sample roll over to me, and it's this extra strong nylon green PLA. It's really, like, when I mean it's extra strong, it is extra strong, and it was really cool to print with. It works at a higher temperature than I'm used to normally printing with, but it actually printed pretty nicely. I had actually, as you guys had seen, a few issues with my prints while trying to print this file, and I actually don't think it had anything to do with the actual file or the PLA, or the filament, I should say. It had to do with settings on my printer that settings on my printer, as well as there were some loose bolts on my printer that I found out before, actually after printing this last one here. I went back in and saw that this particular print failed, unfortunately, at the hand here, and this was due to, in Simplify 3D, I put in supports. I didn't really, I was mainly focused on this section over here for whatever reason, and didn't see that there was a big miss over on this side in terms of the supports. And when it went to print, and in the middle of the night, it missed the area and it just basically took the piece off. What was interesting to see, and I just say again, this filament is extra strong. Removing the support structure is usually an absolute breeze with Simplify 3D and all my normal prints with PLA. But this stuff is just really, really durable. This filament would actually be perfect for maybe any actual components or parts that you're printing that you'd actually like to use, maybe around your house or for a project that you're working on. Maybe you want to, I don't know, maybe it's a wrench that you want to print. Actually, I believe that there might be a really great file out there that I can go off and try and print with some of the remaining filament that I have. I'm not going to be tossing this out. I'm going to be sticking this up here. I might actually be painting this in a way to try and make it a little bit more zombie-esque, because I do so enjoy the way that this looks. I think it's pretty creepy. It's pretty cool. Sometimes failed prints can be reused and reimagined for things that they weren't initially intended for, and this is a perfect
example of that. Now I have a zombie Hulk, and he's angry. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks again for watching. I've got some more low poly funness that I might be putting out this weekend, so make sure to stay tuned for that. And again, thanks again for watching, you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye now.